Welcome back. So far, we've covered transaction fact table, which capture events as they happen, and snapshot fact tables, which capture state at intervals. Today, we're going to look at one more variant, the factless fact table. The name sounds like a contradiction. A fact table is supposed to hold facts, measurements, numbers you can sum and average. So, how can there be such a thing as a factless fact? Here's the idea. A factless fact table is a fact table that records business events, but it has no numeric measures at all, just foreign keys. The fact is the event itself. The mere existence of a raw tells you something happened. Let me give you a real example to make this concrete. Imagine Northwave runs a marketing campaign and sends a promotional email to 200,000 customers. The business wants to track this. They want to know which customers received which campaigns on which dates. So they create a fact table. Every email sent to every customer becomes a raw. But here's the question. What's the measurement? What's the number? The email doesn't have an amount. It doesn't have a quantity in the traditional sense, except for the count of the rows themselves. It doesn't have a duration. There's no natural number attached to Maria received the winter campaign on January 15th. It's just a true statement about what happened. That's exactly when a factless fact table is the right answer. The event matters. Counting these events matters. But there's no natural measure that belongs in the fact table, so we record it with just foreign keys, and the row itself becomes the data. Look at the slide. On left, a transaction fact. It has measures, sales amount, quantity, the kinds of numbers you sum. On the right, a factless fact. Only foreign keys, no measures. The event is the fact. Let me show you what a factless fact table looks like in structure. What you see on the screen is the Northwave marketing _ event _ fact, a real factless fact table. It records every marketing message sent to every customer. The grain is one row equals one marketing message sent to one customer for one campaign on one specific date through one specific channel. Every email, every text message, every push notification, each becomes one row. Look at the columns. At the top, event _ ID, the primary key uniquely identifying every row. Then 4 foreign keys. Date _ key tells you when the message was sent. Customer _ key tells you who received it. Campaign _ key tells you which marketing campaign it belongs to. Channel _ key tells you how it was delivered. Email, SMS, push notification. And then notice what's missing. Look carefully at the table on the screen. There are no measures. No sales _ amount, no quantity, no discount, no duration, just keys, 5 keys total, including the primary key. Nothing else. This is the visual signature of a factless fact. When you look at a fact table and you see only foreign keys with no measure columns at all, you know you're looking at a factless fact. So how is this table useful? It's useful because the data is the rows themselves. By counting rows, the business answers important questions. How many customers did the winter campaign reach? Count rows where campaign _ key equals C-2025-winter. How many push notifications did we send in January? Count rows where channel _ key equals push and the date is in January. How many touch points did Maria receive last month? Count rows where customer _ key is Maria's and the date is in last month. The fact is the existence of the row. The dimensions tell you what the row means. And queries use count, not sum. Let me show you what data actually looks like inside a factless fact. Because seeing the structure is one thing. Seeing real rows is what makes the pattern click. What you see on the screen is the Northwave marketing _ event _ fact with 9 rows of real data spanning 4 days. Let me walk you through. The first row, event underscore ID 5001, date key for January 15th, customer key for 521, that's Maria, campaign key C-2025-winter, the winter campaign, channel email. That single row is the entire fact. It says on January 15th, Maria received the winter campaign by email. Nothing more, nothing less. There's no amount, no quantity. The row itself is what matters. Now look at the second, third, and fourth rows. Same date, January 15th. Same campaign, winter, same channel, email, but different customers. James, then customer 6112, then customer 3804. These four rows together tell you that the winter campaign reached 4 different customers on January 15th by email. If you wanted to know how many customers the winter campaign reached on that day, you'd count these rows. 4. That's the answer. Now look at rows 5 and 6. They're from January 16th. Different campaign now C-2, 025-and EWCUST, the new customer campaign. 2 different customers receiving it. Notice Maria, customer 4521, appears again here. But this time, she's receiving a different campaign on a different day. The Factless fact doesn't track Maria's lifetime relationship with Northwave. It tracks each individual marketing touchpoint, 1 per row. Now look at rows 7 and 8 from January 17th. Notice the channel changes. James and Maria both received the winter campaign again, but this time by SMS instead of email. The same campaign can reach the same customer multiple times through different channels. Each touch point is its own row. The last row, January 18th, customer 6112 receives the new customer campaign by push notification. 3 different channels in this dataset alone. Email, SMS, push. Look at the 3 call-outs at the bottom of the slide. Only foreign keys. The row is the fact. Count rows, not sum. And the banner at the bottom captures the key idea. Marketing reach, class attendance, account logins, policy coverage, all real business events. None of them have a natural number attached. Factless fact tables handle them perfectly. Factless fact tables come in 2 distinct patterns. Both use the same structure of foreign keys without measures, but they solve different kinds of problems. The first pattern on the left is event tracking. These factless facts record discrete events that happen but don't have a measurement. The marketing example we just walked through is exactly this pattern. Other examples include customer support calls that don't have a captured duration, class attendance records, user logins, hospital visits. The event happened. That's the fact. Counting these events answers most of the analytical questions the business asks. Event tracking, factless facts feel a lot like transaction facts in how they behave. Rows are inserted as events happen. Rows are never updated. The pattern of inserts is irregular, driven by when events occur in the business. The only thing missing is the measures. The second pattern on the right is coverage tracking. These factless facts record the relationships that exist over time, not discrete events. The classic example is which products were on promotion this week. Each row represents a true statement about a relationship. Product 4521 was on promotion during the week of January 13th. Product 7820 was on promotion during the same week. Customer 4521 was enrolled in the Gold Loyalty tier in January. Employee Maria Schmidt was assigned to the Frankfurt warehouse project in Q1. These aren't events. They're stated facts about relationships. Coverage factless facts behave differently from event factless facts. The rows often have a validity period, like a start date and end date, or they're tied to a specific interval, like a week or month. The pattern is more like a snapshot than a transaction. You're capturing what was true. Both patterns share the same surface structure, foreign keys only, no measures, but they answer very different kinds of business questions, and you choose between them based on whether you're tracking discrete events or ongoing relationships. So, when do you reach for a factless fact table instead of a transaction or snapshot fact? The decision is simpler than you might think. Look at the slide. The first question on the left: does the event have a natural number? Sales amount, quantity, duration, weight, cost. If yes, you don't need a factless fact. You need a transaction fact or a snapshot fact with the proper measures captured. The second question on the right: does the event matter even without a number? Email sent, class attended, login occurred, a relationship that exists? If yes, then a factless fact is the right answer. The existence of the raw is the data. Three things to remember when you're working with factless facts. First, the raw's existence is the data. There's no measure column to sum. Second, analytical queries use count, not sum. You're measuring frequency or coverage, not magnitude. Third, factless facts are common in marketing, education, healthcare, and eligibility tracking. They're not exotic. They show up wherever the business cares about whether something happened or whether a relationship exists, not how much. Modern data warehouses commonly have several factless fact tables alongside their transaction and snapshot facts. Northwave has the marketing event factless fact we just saw. They might also have a product promotion factless fact tracking, which products were on promotion, which weeks. They might have a customer enrollment factless fact tracking, which customers belong to, which loyalty tier each month. Each one captures a kind of business reality that doesn't have a natural number attached. That's the complete picture of fact table types. Transaction facts for events with measurements. Snapshot facts for state at intervals. Factless facts for events and relationships without measurements. Three patterns covering virtually every analytical use case you'll encounter in real data warehouses. In the next lesson, we'll dive into the measures themselves. We'll look at the difference between additive, semi-additive, and non-additive measures, and why this distinction matters when you're designing fact tables and building analytical queries. See you there.